Hello, guys. Welcome back to another 2028 election prediction. This is assuming Biden wins a second term. We have John Fetterman, the senator from Pennsylvania, versus Ted Cruz, the senator of Texas. So by this point, Fetterman would definitely recover from a stroke pretty much. I definitely think he will probably recover from a stroke by this point because that usually is the average recovery time. So I do think he would be a pretty strong candidate. He was able to flip a Senate seat by about 5 points in the 2022 Senate elections, which honestly pretty tough to do. So I do think he'd be a pretty good candidate. He's very populist on the issues as well, which would definitely help him out. So we'll start with the first few states. So Montana, just safe Republican. Alaska, I think would go down to a likely margin by this point with the trends in the state. Iowa, I think Fetterman, he had pretty solid rural appeal in Pennsylvania, so I do think he would do decent in a rural state like Iowa, keep it in the likely margin, and keep Ohio in the likely margin as well. In New Hampshire and Maine, I think he would win New Hampshire by about 8 to 9, while winning Maine at large by a safe Democratic margin, while Ted Cruz gets Maine second by a lean Republican margin. Nebraska's first. I'm going to put that as a likely because I do think trends there will help the Democrats. And Nebraska's second, I think, would pretty easily go to Fetterman by 8 to 9 points. In Colorado, with the more progressive trends here, I think Fetterman takes the state by over 10. In New Mexico, he takes by about 8. Same with Virginia by about 8 as well. In Texas, Cruz's home state, I think he would be able to win it by about a 2 to 3 point margin. Again, Democratic trends here just keep making the state more and more blue over time. Florida, by this point, will be pretty safe, likely red, teetering even on the safe Republican margin. But again, Fetterman, he did overperform in that Pennsylvania Senate race by quite a bit. So I do think he'd be a pretty formidable candidate, honestly. In North Carolina and Georgia, I would say North Carolina would still be a lean Republican margin, while Georgia would be about lean Democratic. The trends in the state help benefit the Dems quite a bit. In Arizona and Nevada, I think both these states would probably be lean Democratic, honestly. Progressives do quite well in Nevada, and with Arizona, it's becoming more and more blue. Again, even a candidate like Fetterman, where he was a pretty strong candidate. I think he would do decent in Arizona, probably win it by about 2 to 3, and especially the trends in the state benefiting the Dems, he would do well. Now we have the Rust Belt, and honestly, I think Fetterman might have a good shot at sweeping all four of these states. So Minnesota will put in the likely column. Michigan, honestly, it's teetering on the likely column. I'm probably going to give it to Fetterman here. I do think he would have pretty strong populist appeal in this state and win it by a likely margin. Pennsylvania, he would probably win by about 3. In Wisconsin, this is the one state where I think party fatigue would hurt the Democrats, and I'm going to be giving a narrow victory to Ted Cruz here by like a 0.5%. But Fetterman would honestly be a pretty solid candidate as long as he recovers from that stroke he has had. I think he'd be pretty formidable. But that's my election prediction. It was Fetterman versus Ted Cruz in 2028, and I'll see you guys in the next one.